What's going on, chat? What is going on, chat? This is Dr. Cheapest Sunflower back with another video. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Happy Saturday. How was your day? How was your day, guys? Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. Alrighty, so before we get into this situation, welcome to the Hood to Hood Podcast Live, and I am your host, Dr. Cheapest Sunflower. Make sure you are following me, and if you are able to catch this live broadcast, participation is greatly appreciated. Tapping the hearts on any platform. If you're on TikTok, you can send some diamonds. Facebook, you can send stars. You can subscribe or follow on Twitch to help me reach my 10 follower goal. And yeah, the best platform to communicate with me on this Hood to the podcast is on Twitch. So that way you can earn points that you can use for prizes on the channel. Let's see. And if you've been supporting me, I appreciate you so much. I couldn't hear that. Let's see. What's going on with my blurps? Alrighty, so as you can see from the title, we will be discussing unlearning the lies, relearning the legacy, and reigniting your dreams, because this is Dream Central. So go ahead and grab you something to drink, drop your questions in the chat, and if you're watching this on the replay, you can still participate. This is day 13 of the consistency project, so I am still an infant at this streamer life, but I love it. Love it. Love it, guys. love it, guys. Okay, so I put on some new stickers. Now, before we get started, did you brush and floss your teeth today? We've been talking a lot about different oral hygiene topics, so I want to know, did you brush and floss your teeth today? If you can see me using these stickers are available on my Twitch channel. We're 0 bits, so bits on Twitch are like points. So right now you can use any of my sticker channels, and you can also suggest stickers that you want me to create. One of our followers recommended the Clifford sticker, so I tried to make one of those. Let's see how it looks. It's coming out really small, my stickers, so let's make this bigger. Anywho, so yeah, this is day number 13. You guys know that if you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit. So we are still trying to make this a habit. Let's see. I can pop my shit out. So for me, the day number 13 might be unlucky for some, but for us, it is a shift in the positive direction, because we are not just talking about our dreams today. We are talking about mental shackles, confronting lies, and getting spiritually hydrated. So ICO to my Niji out there, to my copper tone, melanated people around the world. ICO to all the kind people around the world. And if you just, a positive spirit, hello. So a lot of us, including myself, have been fed a version of history that excludes the greatness of who we are. So tonight's focus is more Niji related. Okay? So we don't tell lies on this podcast. This is where we build legacy. So we tell the truth, no matter how hard it is, even if it goes against the standards, even if it's not popular opinion. Sometimes you have to stand on business about the truth, even when most people don't know, or most people have learned the lie. This is when you have to relearn the legacy that exists in you and reignite your dream based on the greatness. So even though history has edited the greatness of the melanated copper tone people out, we are about breaking those curses and reinvigorating our dreams and being spiritually hydrated, right? Right. Being spiritually hydrated and never giving up. Let's see if my never give up sticker works. Oh man, you can't really see it. It's so tiny. My stickers are way too small, but it's all a learning experience. It's all a learning experience, and I'm here for it. Challenging myself to, stick with this goal and not being scared. You can't be no scared. be scared. Not, not at all. My blurps are kind of low. Let's fix that. So yeah, guys, how was your day? It has been raining, of course, here in New York. What a fucking surprise! Like, when is it not raining? New York, upstate New York, middle name is, rain every day. It's so aggravating. Let's go to my settings. Just one reason why I wish I could move a little bit closer to home. But, when you're a dreamer, you never know where life is going to take you, right? So I added this new thing on my channel. I can barely hear it. So let's try this again. Let's see. It's not that loud, but let's see. Me and these technical difficulties. But yeah, guys, life has been just moving right along. I haven't really been paying attention too much to politics because I know there's just so much changing around the world. I just try to protect my amygdala from what I see, what I hear, and what I speak. Well, that ain't what I want. So, let's see. Hi, how are you? Alrighty, so let's dive into our podcast for tonight. Beginning with a topic that is totally unpopular opinion, but I'm here to break the norm. Test your mindset and help you unlearn lies and tell you a secret that America has been hiding from the needy. Okay? And like I told you in the beginning of this, history has edited out the greatness of my people in America. I'm going to replace it with a pseudo-history. And I feel like it's only fair that we could tell our own story, not his story, and to live in a country that doesn't allow you to tell your story and bans all pathways for you to be able to self-identify yourself, I cracked myself up. To self-identify yourself. What the hell? Totally funny. So I'm gonna have to drop a twerking on that one because that's not what I meant to say. But yeah, so this topic isn't one that most people will understand or that most people haven't studied. But I'm excited to see how many Niji, how many true Ameri Indians have been sharing this knowledge and making a difference. They have really been making a difference. So we were taught in school that Christopher Columbus discovered America. Christopher Columbus. That's what we were taught. That's what they said. But this history has been busted for being a fraud. A fraud. Let's see. What is my sticker? Come on. Let's make it bigger. Okay, it has been busted, guys. It's been busted. Because today we're not just talking about dreams, along our normal standard path of learning on this Breaking the Generational Curse podcast, the Hoods Hooded podcast. We're talking about unlearning the pseudo history. Because why? You weren't taught about the copper tone Niji, the mound builders, the maroon nations, or the global trade systems that pre-existed before colonizers arrived here in America, right? That's what we're talking about for this segment. Unlearning pseudo history. And how does that look when you unlearn pseudo history? This looks like questioning textbooks, looking into treaties, oral histories, carvings, and suppressed documents, okay? So many times when you go to school, which is a system that was built on nowadays colonizers' ability to tell our story versus our ability to tell our own story. And this is why our history is banned pretty much in school, because we're not allowed to learn who we were before colonization, which is totally bananas. You guys know that the earth is billions of years old, so things just didn't start 2,000 years ago. The timeline is off. If earth is billions of years ago, the Olmecs and the Indians have been here since forever. Even think about the people in Haiti. They have been here, and that's the same area where Columbus arrived during his first voyage. He saw those Haitians, which they call them Haitians now, but they are Indians, indigenous to Turtle Island. Turtle Island is America. So I repeat these things because I know that a lot of people don't know this information. Some people be looking like deer in the headlights, like, what? What are you talking about? Like, girl, what? But this is just the facts. Just the facts, guys. Just the facts. That's what this is. This is just stating the facts. I was once one of those people who would never listen to another perspective until I took anthropology at Florida State University during my undergrad years. It allowed my mind the ability to open up to other perspectives, other histories, and not be so closed into this American society, which tells us one version of ourselves and doesn't allow us to tell our own story. That's why it is pseudo history, because you don't have control of the narrative. But this history could not erase the history that pre-existed before it was created, which is why history is so complicated for people to understand. Questioning textbooks means going and figure out which books were banned. Why don't they want me reading this book? And why can't I learn about myself? Don't make no damn sense. You know, it's looking into all the treaties. Some of these treaties, well, pretty much all the treaties were broken by this government. They were all broken, and everything was manipulated through the writings. But the oral history, a lot of the art that is around the world is also banned here in America. The carvings, the art, the books, they still tell a story about the true Niji, the true indigenous people of America. And some of the images can shock people because they're not used to hearing Indian and connecting it with melanin, because that is what they don't want us to know. Rewriting your mental blueprint starts with courage, the courage to open up your mind. When I had to learn these new things just even a year ago, it was shocking. It was mind-blowing to see how imperative it is for the government to control every facet of your life. This is why they call it the Matrix. Okay? That's why they call it the Matrix. Rewriting your mental blueprint, again, it starts with courage. You have to have the courage to open up a book other than the same book forever. Open up other books. Read history. Don't allow someone to tell you what to read, what not to read, especially when it comes to understanding who you are. Reclassification has done wonders on the Niji. Religion has done wonders on the Niji, and so many people have no idea that they are stuck in the Matrix, or that Christopher Columbus did not discover America. They don't know a lot of these things. So tonight, if this is all new to you, we're going to start with some Niji art. I'm going to start with some Niji art because that's one thing that really helped me break the stereotype. Break the stereotype. It really did. So I'm gonna pull that up. Let's see, is it here? So we can dive into it. And I won't go super deep, but I just want you to see how the true Niji, the American Indians, truly look. This is when genealogy comes into play, you know, because it changes your perspective on the pseudo history. So let's pull up these images so we can see what the hell is going on. See what it's looking like. Like I said, the art, really helped me put all the pieces together, you know. I think I just learned how to do something new, y'all. I just learned how to do something new. So let's go to, what picture do we want to start with? This is a good one. I like this one. So, what are we looking at in this piece of art? And I just have a lot of pins on my Pinterest page of different pieces of art, but there are so many ways to find these images. So when you see this piece of art, these are Niji. Well, she represents the Niji, melanin, copper tone. Even this chief picture here, this is one of the original images of the Kansas City Chiefs. And also the Indian red crayon. A lot of people have never seen this crayon because they discontinued this crayon. Can you imagine why? Look at the color of this crayon. It is copper tone. Indian red. They changed this color to chestnut because they didn't want the African Americans to catch on, because guess what? When little kids, the little Indians, who they made POWs and later African Americans or black people, instead they came over here on a slave boat from Africa. Those little children were coloring in coloring books using this Indian red, and they said, oh, we can't have them using this Indian red because guess what? They identified with this Indian red copper tone color. So they discontinued it. Yeah. This is what happened. So that's why understanding who you are, unlearning pseudo history, not thinking that, Native Americans are the Aboriginal. They are government plants, really. Most people would not even believe it. I used to have the most respect for just that word until I learned the truth about the true American Indians, the hidden history, and how they are trying to take our spot, and how we've been pushed out and our greatness has been edited out. This is a very, very serious matter. It's very, very serious. This is an uproar that is going on. Most people have been blinded by the propaganda. They're too involved with the pseudo history, all of these aspects of colonization where they can't even see the truth. So for me, understanding the truth, some things that really unlock that next level of understanding, because like I said, I came from a heavily Christian background. So to look into other things is considered, evil or whatever. But see, me, I'm also a reader. In order to be a leader, I was always told by my professor, Dr. Johnson, he swear by this quote: to be a leader, you must be a reader. You cannot allow other people to tell you who you are, which is what we have been doing. And I have done that all of my life. Allow other people to tell me, oh, I'm black, I'm from Africa. Not having any ties to Africa and trying to connect with anything in Africa other than the color. But then when you do your genealogy, you see the reclassification, the lies, and the cover up by the government. It is all over. There's so many documents, but I have to take it slow on this channel. So Saturdays is more going to be our Niji night, where we dive slowly into this, because I know it can be overwhelming to find out about this type of stuff. But when you're going from hood to hood, we have to have history into this process for us to truly grow. We need to understand history, because history is a major part of brainwashing. It is a major part of culture erasure, and it is a major part of keeping us stuck in a place where we do not know who we are. What's going on, Anthony Wiley? It's Dr. Sean. What's going on, guys? All right. So we're discussing this Niji art so that we can know who we truly are. right? So let's go to another piece of art, because this is just the beginning, but you can see this crayon, Indian red. That's something to remember. So let's go to another piece of Niji art, so you can see who the true American Indians are. And it's very, very shocking. I have so many images of this. I know you guys have probably heard of the Chata, which my family leads back to the Chata. Let's go to this image, the Chata. So you can see on the left, how is my favorite dentist? I wish you're on the West Coast. I know, I'm doing wonderful, super, super great. I wish I lived in San Diego, honestly. That's like my dream place. And I feel like before, I'm not going to say before I get older, I think I really want to live in San Diego. That would be like a dream. They have like perfect weather. I would be scared of earthquakes on the West Coast, but yeah, if I could live anywhere, it would be San Diego. Endless beaches, sunset cliffs, food, bonfires on the beach, waking up to the sun, having so many things to do, going to the mountains and going nearly to the border, whale watching. It's just a total vibe in California, especially San Diego. I don't know where my life is going to take me next along this journey, but I just go with the flow. Only thing I do know is that I'll be showing up here on this stream for 365 days, so you guys will be in the know on everything that I have going on. So back to the lesson at hand, unlearning pseudo history. So what the picture that you see now is another American Indian, and the portrait on the left is from the 1850 portrait of Chop. It's really Chata, Chahta. The colonized version is Choctaw, which is Chocctaw, in New Orleans. And this was painted by Alfred Bosset. And then on the right, you'll see Chief Warhorse Chata out of New Orleans. She's on a constant mission to expose the pseudo history, to expose Christopher Columbus, to expose the government, and reclaim our land. She's doing amazing work in New Orleans, reclaiming land that her ancestors, her grandfather was a chief of the Chata, and they are changing a lot of those boarded up land masses and turning it back to indigenous land. And she is a huge advocate for the Niji community, but a lot of people are not aware of this. So if you know about Chief Warhorse, drop me a comment in the chat or pump some hearts and let me know if this is all shocking to you, if you knew about this Niji art, or if you ever seen anything like this in a history lesson or in school, because they only show melanated people in the form of a slave, which is not true. It's not true. Maybe there were a few people who came here that way, but there is a whole continent of people who are already here. A whole continent. Yes, guys. A whole continent. So we're gonna continue with this Niji art and unlearning the pseudo history. This is like a art gallery right now. I'm gonna take it easy with y'all, but we have to go a little deeper than this every Saturday. And I might even get Chief Sacred 9 to come on here, because he is deep into this. To help us break this down. But you can follow Chief Warhorse on YouTube or any of the platforms. And look at her. Look at her tone. Look at my tone. This is copper tone. So if you've never seen copper tone, this copper tone, okay? Indian red. This Indian red. Melanin. Just call it melanin. That's what it is. But most people are not used to seeing images of Indian here on American soil, aka Turtle Island, that look like this. They're used to seeing the Native Americans, which are pseudo-Americans. You know. Let's continue on with this art. Let's keep going. We gotta keep going. Let's go to another one. Check this one out, guys. The left, you'll see American Indian reclassified as a Negro. Negro is a made-up identity given to POWs. If you don't know what POW is, put I don't know what a POW is in the chat. After colonization, they were stripped from their tribal wear, their headdresses, and forced into civilization. But do you see how they look? These are Niji. They reclassified them. Alright? Let's keep going. Let's keep going, guys. I'm just trying to take it easy so you can kind of see. Oh, we got our main guy. Another American Indian. You'd have thought he was African, but he is not. Clock that T. Clock that T. Clock that motherfucking C. It's important to know who you are. You're around here thinking you are from Africa, and there's nothing wrong with being African, but if you're not, then it's only fair that you know who you truly are and not let the government trick you out your spine. Okay? Okay. So what does this say? It said, did they tell you that Michael Jackson's ancestors weren't African, but they were indigenous Blackfoot and Choctaw American Indians? Not Choctaw, but Choctaw. Most people probably do not know this. They don't know this. Even if you listen to artists like Earth, Wind, and Fire, go look at their album covers and see how they tried to tell the truth through the history without making it so plain. But yeah, Michael Jackson, Choctaw. Don't play with it. Choctaw, Blackfoot, indigenous. Do y'all know what indigenous means? It means that these people were already here. Already here. They didn't come from nowhere else. But they were erased due to land patents. You know, that's why there's such a divide, because of a hidden history. People don't want us to be from here because guess what? That means that we're owed some land. Okay? Let's keep moving on. Let's keep moving on. I'll just give y'all a couple more and then we're gonna go to another segment of this. So I would suggest you read They Came Before Columbus or The American Holocaust by David Stannard. But this is about relearning who you are, your identity, like relearning who you are, being unafraid to learn who you are, because you're not black, you're not other, you're not an accident or a descendant of property. That's not true. You are living proof of resistance, brilliance, and the rebirth. That's who you are. So to relearn yourself is to honor your ancestors, right? To reclaim our real names, to speak our real tongue, and to heal our family line by being the one who decided to wake up. So who is going to be the one who decided to wake up? But somebody has to wake up. Everybody can't stay in the blind. This is, as I told y'all, this is unpopular opinion. Unpopular opinion. This I know. But just because it's unpopular opinion, you can't shrink yourself to fit into the room, because I'd rather know the truth, you know. Let's go to another picture. I love this Niji art. Alright, what about this picture? Have y'all seen this picture? These are the Algonquin Indian Council, 1925. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, chat. I know y'all shocked. I know a lot of people probably, some people are not shocked, but I'm sure if you identify as Christian or something like that, you're like, no, that ain't true. I was taught that, you know, I was come from a history where I didn't have nothing. I was a nobody. I was 3/4 of something. That's what I was taught. I didn't know anything about this. Right. So every time black people call themselves black or African American, you're saying the United States owns you. You're saying you don't exist. You're saying you don't have a history. You're saying you don't have land. You don't have a nation. You don't have a jurisdiction over yourself, and you don't know who the fuck your family is. You're saying you allow foreigners to come take over your land, and you're allowing foreigners to create fictional colonized characters for you to play in their government. I know that was a little heavy. But look at the picture of these 3 indigenous Algonquin chiefs. These are chiefs in these pictures. Who do these chiefs look like? They look like my grandma and my granddaddy. They don't look like the Native Americans. So you can see, if they had all types of massacres and they had all types of wars, it is to erase the indigenous people from the land. Who is always the center of attention worldwide? It's the American Indians, aka the black people. These are the people who have always been marginalized and told to shut the hell up. I'm going to tell you who you are. At what point do we get tired of people telling us who we are? Like, after I learned that the government was lying and that I learned fake history in school, I can't trust the government. I can't trust everything that I learned in the book. I have to really do my research. Which means going back, like we said earlier, reading what they banned. Reading what they banned. If they erased it, that is your first clue that it is very powerful. So an image like this would never be shown in the school during History Month. They want to show you that Black History Month has to do with slavery. They don't teach you that melanated history has to do with the Indian chiefs. Just like you see the Indian Chiefs football team, that image has been whitewashed over the decades. The first Indian chief image that we saw, just like earlier, he had copper tone skin. What happened? Copper tone. What the fuck happened? The mound builders. What happened? You have to have courage to read this stuff, to dig deep, and not be afraid of the truth. And that's the biggest difference between me, who I am now, and who I was then. When I was in my identity of not being an Indian and not knowing my genealogy and not knowing who my true ancestors were, I didn't know their names. I just thought, okay, I came from slavery. Until I did my genealogy and I realized, wow, I'm connected to a people. And this is something that we're not talking about with oral history. We're just hyping up, oh, African American, black. And the world is laughing at us because we don't know the truth. It's just hidden out. Every aspect of life is just hidden. It is completely hidden. Right? So we have to honor our ancestors, reclaim our name, heal our line by being one, even if you're the first one to wake the fuck up. I do not do pseudo history no more. I do not. I'm in a transition period because in the beginning it was a state of shock. Like, I can't believe what this is. What you hear this stuff, you like, what the fuck? It's just like a state of shock. Like, you just be like, really, bruh? Really? Be like, really, bruh? Really? Mm-hmm. We going somewhere. I'm going slow because I know that this can be a lot to digest. Let's go to another piece of art. Let's keep it moving. Well, this is mostly like memes, but you get the picture of the pictures showing you the true. So let's look at the Seminole Indian chiefs. Cause you know, Florida State Seminoles. I went to Florida State and I didn't remember them looking like this. But the statue of the chief and the chiefess in the center of the campus is actually melanated copper tone people, not Native Americans. And I actually met her, the chiefess. Mm-hmm. Let's get the fuck into it. Let's dive into it. What do you see? The Seminole Indian chiefs described as Negroes. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh no, what did I do? Let's put this back. Oh man. And this is one thing that you have to go and look and research the art in South America. All you see is us. Go research the art from when the French took over, and the people that they drew. They look just like us, you know. But when they created the history to train the POWs, they said, you know, we can't be having them learning and seeing these images, because this knocks us out of our spot. All right, let's see what this piece of this picture is talking about. So this Seminole Indian chief, which is my, you know, I'm from Tallahassee, Tallahassee, Appalachia, Seminole Indian chiefs, the Creek Indians, the Muskogeans. They were described as Negroes on the Census Bureau because they didn't want them to connect with their Indian heritage. So when they went and did the Census Bureau, they say, okay, you Indian, but we're going to put you down as black or Negro. Negro is just means black in some languages. So they reduce our entire culture, our entire history into a color. What other nationality around the world has a color as their identity? Only us. So let's read what this says. It says commissioner in. I'm gonna need my glasses. I don't wear glasses. Commissioner in 1820, but no American official explained how it happened. If the Negro were but shadows of the Indians, that so many Seminole chiefs were black. The principal Seminole chief ruling over the entire nation in 1820 was Nemathala, who bore no evidence of Indian admixture. Another great chieftain was Mika Nopa, king over kings, described as part Negro and very dark, who ruled the nation in 1832 and owned immense herds of cattle and ponies. Billy Bolek, his nephew who led the last hostilities against the United States in 1855 to 1858, was also, they say in part Negro, but it's really Indian, right? Luis Pacheco, a pure-blooded Negro, aka Indian, who planned Dade's massacre and afterward became a Seminole sub-chief, could read, write, and speak English, French, Spanish, Creek, having been the SLAVE of a cultured Spanish planter near Tampa, Florida. The most important, if not the best known of the Seminole chief, was a pure blood, they say Negro, but he's basically Indian, named Abraham, who, because of his intelligence and knowledge of English, negotiated nearly all the treaties with the United States commissioners. Of him, General Jessup said, a good soldier and intrepid leader, he is a chief and the most cunning and intelligent, they say Negro, but they're talking about Indian chiefs. Some of this history will make you cry. The lies. The lies, my Niji. So let's keep going. I'm just going to go to a few more. So Niji art is not just creative, it's coded memory. It is coded memory. It connects you back to who you truly are. It is coded memory. And this is just my Pinterest, but I do have so much on my phone that we will dig into one day. But alrighty, so which one do we want to do next? It's just so much to uncover. So much. Let's go to Pocahontas Island. Let's check out Pocahontas Island. Did y'all know about Pocahontas Island? Right? This is the oldest black community in the United States. Okay. Second oldest post-settlement town after Fort Mosey, Florida. So let's read this about Pocahontas Island. How did these melanated people end up on Pocahontas Island if they were not Indian? So the town of Pocahontas, established 1752, became part of Petersburg in 1784. By 1860, more members of the city's large free African American community lived here than in any other neighborhood. Their work in tobacco factories and on wharves fueled the bustling Appomattox River trade. Residents likely used their access to the river to help enslaved blacks escape via the Underground Railroad. So when we're reading these things, you gotta kind of discern what's true and what's not. After the Civil War, Pocahontas attracted many emancipated African Americans. Right. A tornado left widespread damage in 1993. Um, so you can see, even the Pocahontas Island is us, but they have to try to hide these things because, you know, they don't want us to know this. Like, why would they want us to know this? Let's keep going, guys. Alright. So our designs, beadwork, paintings, hair patterns are all cultural archives to let us know who we are. All of it. I love this picture right here now. It's like the need to be an album cover of us. So before race, before there was black and white, we were nations, families, clans, cosmologies. Niji means flesh of the land. We were always here and we are still here. Okay. Throw your set up. Throw your set up. Throw your set up. It's like, really, bro? Like, what? Why y'all hiding this? Why you hiding this? Why? 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 Always here. So again, Niji art is not just creative, it is coded memory. Look at this American Indian. Look at this skin tone. The attire. Let's do one more. See if I can get this to come up a little better. Oh, there we go. Now, American Indian. So when you think about American Indians versus Native Americans, we're not talking about Native Americans. That's something else. Those are people who have Mongolian descent who are trying to take our spot because we are not claiming our spot. We're claiming somebody that we're not in. It's allowing other people to tell you who you are and erase your history. So remember, Niji art is not just creative, it is coded memory. And this isn't really art. This is just a picture of a chief and a chiefess. I want to show you a piece of art, something from back in the day. There's some good pictures here. This isn't really art, but you can see these American Indians, not Negroes. So I'm mostly on the pictures. But yeah, this is all Niji, American Indian, not the whitewashed version. You see the headdress, the copper tone. Look at the cowboy hats. Look at it. Who are these people that Columbus saw when he came here? You cannot let history tell you who you are. Don't do it. Don't be scared to learn who you are. Nothing's gonna happen with you learning who you are. Nothing. Nothing is going to happen with you learning who you are. So if you want to break generational curses, breaking the history curse is very, very important. So on Saturdays, we got to touch on this topic. We can be talking about dreams and goals and all of that, but if you don't break this particular generational curse, it says future generations back, because we don't know who we are. And we continue to allow other people to tell us who we are. We don't do our genealogy. We just say, oh, well, they told me I was this, so I'm this, and I better not say nothing because I'm going to get in trouble. No, I need to know who the fuck I really am. So when I came into this information, that's why I did not listen to other people. I said, okay, well, if this is true, what you're telling me is true, I can do my genealogy and find it out for myself. And I'll be damned, I did my genealogy, and it just took me back. It's just like so amazing to be able to do this. But the only way I got to that point was by learning who I am. Otherwise, I've been going this whole time, decade after decade, no one ever saying, well, your great 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 aunts is this person. I had to learn this for myself. So they killed the oral history by saying, hey, nope, you're just black and you came from a boat. Once they do that, you don't even go to research. You just accept what they say, what the government tells you, what the history books tells you, what colonized history tells you, and you just are okay with it. And we can't keep doing that because it weakens us. You know, it erases our true identity. And it's just not fair, because everybody else in the world can claim who they are with no problem, but when it comes to us, the government wants to control us, erase us from history, edit out our greatness, and give us something that they said we are. And it's not fucking fair. So that's why I stand 10 toes down about who I truly am, regardless if people don't know. I have to know. I will be that person who decodes this for the rest of us, so we can remember who we are. We got to remember who we are. That's why this is Niji Art Night. I can keep going with these images, but I can tell you, but this is like me planting the seed so you can do the research for yourself. Look at the headdress. Look at the copper tone skin. This is American Indian. Okay? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Do not let America lie to you. This curse goes so deep. That's why I like Niji art. Like it unlocks a lot. Niji art meaning just the culture, the pictures, the history. See that cowboy hat, Cowboy Carter. Right? Let's keep going. I can do this all day when it comes to who the fuck I am. Let's keep going. Hi, Dr. Sean. Hope you've been having a good week. Hope you've been good this week. You're honestly such an inspiration and one of my favorite streamers. Thank you, Zach B. I appreciate it. Yes, I've been having a wonderful, wonderful week. Despite the highs and the lows of the week, it's been a pretty good week. You know, I can't complain at all, and I hope you've been having a wonderful week as well. So we're still diving into this American Indian history. We're going to show y'all another chief, because my family is also Park Creek, Muskogean, Choctaw. So this is another chief. This is Chief Silas Jefferson, Muskogee Creek chief of the Wind Clan. 1877. Who does look like? Somebody granddaddy, right? Stop playing with us. Stop trying to tell us who we are. You better not let people tell you who you are, man. They don't know who you are. Like, how can a history book tell you who you are? A history book where they gonna always put the melanated people as nobodies, or say, hey, y'all all look this way, so you all gotta come from one place. And it's just not true. I'm here to bust your bubble. I am here to bust your bubble. I'm here to bust your bubble. I'm on that. I'm here to bust your bubble. Look at this. This is a Indian chief. You were not told that Indian chiefs look like this. His melanin is more concentrated than mine. Let's keep going. And let's keep going. I want to go back to this picture right here. The Indian red crayon. It said, when you find out Indian red is more brown, stop playing with it. So what they did, they discontinued it because they had to hide this. Like, what the hell? What the hell? We can't have this out. We can't have this information out. You can actually go find these crayons right now on eBay. They're probably like $30 a crayon. But yeah, they're discontinued. So these are like legendary. Yeah. Indian red. Indian red, more like brown. Now my high school in Tallahassee, Florida was James S. Rickards High School. And the mascot before I got there was the Redskins, right? Because Tallahassee, people don't know that they're Indian there. That's why there's so much Indian stuff. All the roads have Indian names. And I always noticed this growing up, but I thought that some kind of way the Native Americans was somewhere, but I never saw them. And it's because I didn't know who I was, and they just kept trying to cover up who the black people were in that area, because there's so many of us. But even at James S. Rickards High School, it's predominantly copper tone. We all think we're black, but the whole school is called the Redskins, really meaning the brown skins. So they changed the name in 2000 when I first started 9th grade to the Raiders. Now, when I was in my other identity, my black identity, you don't see nothing. You don't even see the hijack. You think, oh, they changed it from the Redskins to the Raiders because it offended the Indians. We the Indians. It didn't offend us. They wanted to hide it from us. So they are manipulating the system, the education system, to trick us out of our spot. Once again, right at my own high school. Same place where they have Florida State Seminoles. They changed the mascot to make the Seminole look more Caucasian. He has like smooth hair now, and yeah. So they changed it to the Raiders. They changed us from the Redskins, a school full of melanated copper tone African Americans, to the Raiders, because that's the people who invaded. Andrew Jackson, the president on the $20 bill, he came to my hometown, you know, when who was it, like the Spanish, when they couldn't overtake the Indian tribes, they called in Andrew Jackson. He came in with the military force, took it over, and that's how they got into the interior of that land, right? So now, this is what we have. Cultural hijack. Right in our face. Let's go to another image of Niji Arts, so you can kind of see. see now. If people saw a dentist streaming on Twitch like you at the office, it would be absolutely go viral. Your next level. Yes, Twitch is definitely a learning curve, and I believe that consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. hmm That is the key. And I do dentistry, but I don't do it every day. My streams are lately. I've been trying to get like a pattern of what I want to do and how I want to come on. Coming on 365 days can be a challenge to think of something to talk about all the time. So I just follow my mood. So I just make Saturdays my history night, my Niji history night, so that we can learn about who we truly are, especially us copper tone people in Turtle Island, aka America. Sunday I do a full oral hygiene 101 stream. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we do learning topics where we have, more generational curse building topics about careers, entrepreneurship, business, and we always sprinkle a little dentistry in every stream most of the time. And then on Fridays is like our YOLO day where we just chill out and relax, and then we're back to Saturdays. That's the schedule for now, without kind of locking myself into something. Now here's another interesting book that should really wake a lot of people up. But most people would never even read this book because they don't even understand how deep it goes. Now, y'all ready for this? How to Make a Negro Christian. Even that aspect is colonized. I'm sorry to tell you guys. And I know this breaks a lot of hearts because we've been tricked out of our spot on every level. I know what you're thinking. What the hell are you talking about? But this is what I mean by unlearning pseudo history and going back and seeing the books that they told you not to read. This would be a book they would ban because they don't want you to know how religious is used as a way to colonize people. Yeah, we could talk about the TV. Yeah, we could talk about the dreams, but without understanding the history and how this plays a part on you every day, we stay in a place where we can't elevate it. Because once you unlock this code, you next level genius. And everybody can't unlock this code. Some people would never be able to understand what the hell I'm talking about. They won't even listen. They'll just be like, oh, nope. But see, the difference between me and that type of person is I go and research. I'm going to go read, figure it out, discern the truth. So to see something like this where they're using religion as a weapon, that's what really pissed me off when I was learning about this. When I read about Christopher Columbus and how he was using the Bible as a weapon to unalive people, and it just pissed me off. When I saw all the governors were coming here, colonizing the land, going, using fire and different tactics and weapons to take over land. Even in my hometown, Tallahassee, aka Appalachia, aka the Mound Builders, aka Tallahassee, Florida, they were using the Bible to go on missionaries to change Niji into Christians. The people that they put down as Negro into Christians. And that just blew my fucking mind. It blew my mind, y'all. I'm like, what? Oh, this is what you been in school. Because it unlocks something that most people are too scared to talk about. And they don't teach this because it is too heavy. But here on the Hood podcast, I ain't sugarcoating shit. I can't do it. I sugarcoated. Well, I didn't sugarcoat. The government has sugarcoated the truth. And they didn't even sugarcoat it. They just straight up banned it. They was like, you better not read this because we telling all the secrets. sad. This ain't art, but it is kind of art. Books, all that is a form of art to tell us who we are. hmm So I feel like we have covered a lot of images tonight. I was really looking for something else, but I went into a different thread. Do you guys see how even just going back and looking at images of Indians, Indians, Aboriginal people can just change your whole entire perspective? And next week I will have a better, I won't say a better art show, but a different art show that is gonna go back to the to the earlier times, because those are very important pictures as well. Very, very important images. And I'm not afraid to go there. Because I think it's only right that we know who we are. Why do we have to be the only people in the world who are told who we are, and we can't decide who we are on our own? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I said I was gonna be done with this little art show, but I'm not. I am not done. Almost done though. We're gonna move on in a second. But make sure you are following if you want to know, like, true history. So next week now look at this. Now this is crazy. 1664. This is crazy. This isn't art, but Maryland law specifies that blacks who convert to Christianity will nonetheless remain slaves for life. Crazy, right? Moving right along. That's not what I was looking for. That's not what I was looking for. So let's take a peek at this. Right? Puzzles of the past. This is 1400 BC. Residents of the Olmec, Mexico. So Mexico is just a line. America, Mexico, Canada were all colonized, and the lines are invisible lines. It's all, Turtle Island is one land, right? It's connected. So when you go to Mexico, they have a lot of indigenous art, and it shows who the true people were. So look at the phenotypes on this art from the Olmec. Flat noses, large, round, projecting lips. Who do these people look like? Nah, let me stop. They look like us. Okay? They look like us. But the art we will go into next week will be more of the figurines that are around the world. that sell for lots of money. Copper tone. Copper tone, guys. hmm Copper tone. All right. Let's look at some more art. This will probably be our last one of American Indian. Like I said, I know this is unpopular opinion. It's unpopular subjects, but it's definitely a part of the hood to hooded journey is learning your true history. If this is all baffling to you, I would highly recommend starting with your genealogy. Going to a place like Ancestry.com, putting in your name, then putting in your parents' names, and then tracing that history back. I was able to trace my history back several great 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 grandparents, which is shocking, which is how I know where my ancestors were during the times where the history book said that they were somewhere else, you know. So you have to really learn who you are, learn the location where your family was so that you can trace your American Indian identity. I have traced my ancestors to all of the land to the east of the Mississippi River, the Mississippians, the mound builders, the Choctaw, the Creeks, the Muskogeans, okay? And it gives you so much empowerment to know who you truly are. And I'm here to learn. I'm not here to go for the rest of my life dealing with pseudo history, think that my family came from somewhere just because somebody else told me that. That is not what you told yourself. That's not what you saw with your own eyes. So that's why I have so much confidence in who I am, because I did the research myself. It is mind boggling. It is life changing. It is amazing to see art like this. And there's thousands of these figurines that depict us before Columbus, before the lies, before the stories about the boats brought us here. These people were already here. And do you see that skin tone? Do you see those lips? Do you see the phenotype? The headdress, the gold. These are my ancestors. These are your ancestors, my Niji. You know? These are our ancestors. So don't be afraid to know who you are. Okay? Don't be afraid. So this message is hitting your soul. You can consider pouring back into the movement. Those are all the links where you can, keep this positive energy growing, because I feel like more people need to know this shocking secret. So let's build generational healing and generational wealth together. All right. So it's just let's see, what am I looking for? We're going to go into a different topic for tonight and talk about some teeth, some oral hygiene, so we can end this with, some tips for you to go into next week with a fresh mouth. We've learned about some history for tonight. I want to switch the vibes and talk about some oral hygiene to help us elevate our oral hygiene routine And just to warn you guys about vaping. So you're in the room, you're meant to be here. Alignment over accident. This is no accident. Okay. So drop your comments in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions about oral hygiene. Even if you watch this on the replay, I know I come on pretty late, so you know. A lot of people are out partying on a Saturday. They like, girl, you is on too late. I have to be consistent when I can be consistent, and I'm just loving this growth as a streamer. Even though these beginning days are very chill, it allows me time to learn and get my stream together and make it so fun. Like, I like the direction it's going. One day I will be able to say, and a lot of people have been asking for the oral hygiene streams more, so maybe I'll do like a daily stream on Twitch, like a 30-minute a day or something. I don't know, girl. I don't know, girl. I don't know. Don't know. Chief Hawkeyes AIU, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. How you feeling today? Let's talk about some teeth. Okay, how do you take your oral hygiene routine from basic to diamonds? I'm going to give you 4 levels that I created so that you can decide which level you want to be in. Now, there's a basic level where you won't have the best outcome or chances when you go to the dentist, and you open yourself up to more risk when it comes to decay and gum disease and inflammation, recession, all of those things. So a basic tier, golden, just chilling, period. So the first tier is basic, the second one is a standard, and the third one is premium, and the fourth one is diamond. So I want you guys to think about these and tell me where you stand with your oral hygiene levels. Is your routine diamond level or is it a basic? Okay, so a basic tier level brusher, this is a person who brushes 2 times per day using a manual toothbrush. This is just gonna get you the basics. You're brushing, but you're not flossing. And you know, guys, we must brush and floss. We don't do the 2-step on this live. We don't do the 1-step. We don't do the 1-step. We do the 2-step. Hey, the 2-step. We don't do the 1-step. So the 1-step is when you just brush and you be like, I don't care about flossing. Because every day that you don't floss, you miss 30% approximately of the surfaces. So you want to add flossing to your routine. But if you want a basic tier, you have room to grow. Like I tell my patients, we just document where you start, and then this is room for you to improve. So if you're a basic level tier brusher and you're only brushing 1 to 2 times per day, then you gotta step your game up. You gotta step your game all the way up. Otherwise, you will have the potty mouth. You don't want the potty mouth, right? No thanks, because the potty mouth can be pretty toxic. Let me turn this music down because this music is drowning me out. There we go. So we don't want to have a potty mouth. Alright. And I got a new sticker on Twitch. Where is my oral hygiene sticker? I made some custom stickers. Where is it? I'm gonna find it. There it is. You gotta brush and floss. Brush and floss. Brush and floss. Brush and floss. So if you're brushing and flossing, this is gonna put you at a standard tier, level 2. So that means you are brushing 2 times per day with a manual or electric toothbrush. You are flossing daily, and you use basic mouthwash. So this is like a standard level. So you're doing a lot, but it's still not going to be the diamond standard. So we still can have some improvement or add more things to the oral hygiene routine to help us get to the diamond level where we really like showing our teeth immaculate love. We really showing our teeth like who is the boss, and we're not allowing the bacteria to take us out of the game and lead us to a life of tooth loss. Okay, so a premium level or a premium tier brusher, this is someone who's going to use an electric toothbrush like the Oral-B-I-O toothbrush. They might even add in a water flosser, a tongue scraper, and alcohol-free mouthwash. So they're spending a little bit more on the mouthwash. They're not just going to the Dollar Tree picking out any mouthwash or using alcohol, which dries out the mouth. They're going to make sure it's alcohol-free. They have a copper tongue scraper. They use the water flossers, and they have an electric toothbrush. So the electric toothbrush is going to be premium over the manual because it can move faster. You can use the sonic toothbrush or the spin brush. I prefer the Oral-B-I-O because it's a spin brush. I just feel like spinning does something different than like the sonic hair. But it's totally up to you as long as it's an electric toothbrush. Because the electric toothbrush is going to time you most of the times and keep you on track. And some of them can tell you if you're brushing too hard, because brushing too hard is also very, very bad. Now, what is in the diamond tier? What's in the diamond? What do you guys think is in the diamond tier of brushing? It's like, damn, I'm already doing a lot. If I'm brushing, flossing, using a water pick, that's a lot. It's more than that you can do? Yes, it's more than that you can do. So the diamond tier is using an electric toothbrush with a pressure sensor. That's kind of like the Oral-B-I-O toothbrush that I just mentioned, where you can, it will turn red if you're brushing too hard, it's green if you're doing it right, and blue if you're doing it not hard enough. So this is going to keep you on track, and remember to brush all sides of the teeth. The cheek side and the tongue side and the surfaces that chew, so all around the teeth, right? And then between the teeth, that's what the flossing is for. So a diamond person is going to floss every day, okay? They're going to use a copper tongue scraper to clean their tongue. They might have a pH balanced mouthwash. This is something a little bit more fancier. They use a timer. And they go and they get their 6-month checkups on time. They fix issues while they're small. So they have a whole different mindset. Now, did you know that 65% of adults only brush 1 time per day? One time per day. 65%. So that is a lot of people who need to hear this part of the broadcast to understand where are you with your oral hygiene routine. Are you a basic brusher where you're brushing 2 times per day? Because if you're not even brushing 2 times per day, this means that you aren't even ranking in this system that I created. Maybe we should make 5 levels where the first level is just you brush once per day. But when you brush 2 times per day, remember with a manual toothbrush, this is basic. If you brush 2 times per day and you're flossing with mouthwash, this is standard. If you want to go to a premium level, switch your toothbrush out to electric toothbrush, get a water flosser, tongue scraper, and use alcohol-free mouthwash. If you want to be a diamond tier brusher and patient, you want to use an electric toothbrush with pressure sensors, a copper tongue scraper, pH balanced mouthwash, and get your checkups regularly. And you can use a water flosser. So there's a lot that you can do to get out of that 65% of adults who only brush 1 time per day. 65%. That is high. High. That is not good, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's really high. So we don't want to do that. So just think about those levels. My dentist used some rubbery thing. What's that for? I don't know what rubbery thing you might be referring to, because dentists use hundreds of tools. You're probably talking about a Profi cup, which is something that they use to, what we use to just do a basic cleaning. It's like a little rubber thing that we use, kind of like an electric toothbrush. We put the Profi paste in it and it just cleans the teeth. This would be for someone who doesn't have like calculus buildup and poor oral hygiene. If you have poor oral hygiene, it could get to the point where you need to be numbed up for your cleaning. So the dentist has to numb your gums to clean the calculus off because it has gotten so bad. Right? But the rubber thing, that means you probably brush and floss regularly, or you're brushing to the point where they don't need to do a deep cleaning. But if it gets to the point where like you have severe dental calculus, then this is only going to come off with a deep cleaning from the doctor. And I won't show you severe cases. We'll just go to let's see. Let's see if this one would yeah, so here we go. So a situation like this where you have, thank you, Thomas Miller, for liking the stream. I appreciate it. Calculus. Okay? So this type of calculus requires scaling. If it's painful and you have deep pockets, we may have to numb you up a lot of the times to take this stuff off. This can't be removed with a toothbrush. So that's why it's important to go every 6 months, because as you see from the left side, it starts to build up and it's not as heavy as the right side. On the right side is a little bit more severe. So either way, you have to clean it off. Now, the Profi cup, which is what you're talking about, won't clean this off. We have to actually use either stainless steel instruments to scrape this off, or a Cavatron, which is like an ultrasonic instrument that sprays water, similar to a water flosser, but not. Nah, not the paste. It was a rubber sheet thing during the filling. What is that for? I'm sure I know what it is, but that description, I can't figure it out. Yeah, I would have to know exactly how it looks, because I don't know what that is. Because when we do a filling, we use a drill, we use different burrs to remove the decay, then we clean it out with different solutions, with edge and, maybe Gluma or other things like that. We might use caries detector. Then once we fill it, that's composite, and then we file it down with the burr, and then we might use a rubber burr to polish it, but I'm not sure which step you're talking about. Find me a picture, maybe I can help. Alright, because these are all examples of what can happen when you have that basic tier oral hygiene routine. You can get these cavities because you're not brushing often enough. You're going to sleep with food on your teeth, bacteria going out of control, and then you get the poo-poo mouth. Who got time to have a poo-poo mouth? I don't have time for the poo-poo mouth. Who got time for that? But as a dentist, I do have time to help people prevent this situation. But, so you can see from this image, this is before and after brushing. Okay. Moving right along. So just think about your oral hygiene routine and how you can elevate it, whether you're basic, standard, premium, or diamond. There's always something you can do to elevate that process and keep your teeth longer and to keep your teeth healthier, including diet, not smoking nicotine, vaping, which brings us to our next point, which is the truth about vaping. And this is for the young ones so they can know the risks with vaping. And if you are older and you vape, this is also for you as well. So do you know anybody who vapes? Y'all know anybody who vapes? Because this is what can happen to your teeth if you vape. Right? What does it cause? Vaping causes dry mouth because it's drying out your mouth with all the smoke. This leads to decay and gum disease and bone loss and tooth loss and a whole bunch of problems. And a lot of people don't know that vaping is more addictive than actually smoking cigarettes. That doesn't mean to go smoke cigarettes. Both of them are equally bad and can cause oral cancer, but vaping is more addictive. So some people will stop smoking actual cigarettes to go into vaping, but that's also going to be addictive. So you're going to be vaping every second, like every time you turn around, and it's going to be easier to vape because some of these things are smokeless, I think, and you can do these indoors, wherever. So now you're going to actually be smoking a lot more. than you normally would. So vaping is very dangerous. It causes cavities, tooth loss, dry mouth. You see that decay? Those black spots? And then on the bottom right side, you'll see that calculus on the teeth, the spacing, and you can kind of almost see the root of the tooth, the bone loss. So the nicotine from the vaping restricts the blood flow and leads to poor wound healing. So if you get any infections in your mouth, they're going to heal slower than if you had healthy gum tissue and a healthy oral cavity environment than if you were vaping. Now you have poor wound healing. So if you get an extraction or something like that, it may take longer for that extraction site to heal. And flavored vapes cause irritation to your tissues. So they may leave you with redness and the burning sensation. So when you think you're in the clear and you're like, okay, I don't smoke, but I vape. Listen, that's just as damn damaging. So do not vape. It's just as bad, guys. A study in 2023, over 50% of college vapors had early signs of gum disease and enamel loss. 50%. So if you're vaping in college, this is going to give you early signs of gum disease. And you can see from these pictures, what it leads to. You might not be this severe as the pictures right now, but if you continue with that poor habit of vaping, this is what it is going to cause. So try to break yourself off of cigarettes and don't go in thinking that vaping is going to be better, because it's actually not. It really is not. If you have any questions about this oral hygiene topic, vaping, or your oral hygiene routine, drop it in the chats. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Hey. Alright, enough of that. So, the moral of the story is to brush twice per day. And floss every day. Every day. Okay? And you can do it. Alright? You can do it. You can do it, guys. Hold on, we got a comment in the chat. So Hunter said, the dentist put a clamp on my tooth with something made of rubber, then fired up the drill, and my head started bouncing like a bobblehead. Oh, that's too funny. Vaping is disgusting. some people do it. Some people vape. But you know, vaping, guess what? Vaping is a trap. It's a trap for your teeth, but not your head bouncing like a bobblehead. That is too funny. So you might be talking about a rubber dam clamp. I think that's what you're talking about. Were you getting a root canal? Because that would be something that I would think that. I think that's what you're talking about. Because with a root canal, we do use specific clamps, and we put the rubber dam on to isolate the tooth so that none of the bacteria from the oral cavity goes into the canal of the tooth and making the situation worse. So the rubber dam is to isolate. So that's probably what you're talking about. And they do that also for fillings sometimes too, and crowns and things like that, but mostly with root canals. That is too funny. Head start bouncing like a bobblehead. Oh my lord. That's why most people are scared of the dentist. That is why they're like, actually, can we reschedule? Too funny. I know I was missing something. Where is my TikTok chat? If you watch it on TikTok, send me some diamonds. I love this beginning process of my consistency challenge. So if you're just tuning in, I'm on this consistency challenge where I'm going live for 365 days because I'm trying to be a streamer dentist, where we go live on the Hood to Hooded podcast, which is about breaking generational curses, increasing our dental IQ, and just developing our business and entrepreneurship, financial literacy, intelligence, right? And also to connect with my audience on an everyday basis. Even though I come on really late sometimes, if you're watching this on the replay, thank you. And to all my new subscribers and followers across all the social medias, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 1K on YouTube. I'm almost there. We at like 930 something, I think. Trying to get to 10 on Twitch. So if you don't have Twitch, go to the App Store, download Twitch, and follow me to help me reach my goal of 10. I need to get to 50 in order to be affiliated on Twitch so that I can be monetized. So I only need 50, but we're going to set baby goals. And hopefully my tribe will help me get there. So, and then what else? I think that's it. I think that's it. And if you do go subscribe to my Twitch, I will be forever, ever grateful. We're going to have a sticker party when I get to 10. So you see these stickers that we're using right now on Twitch. These are things that I can implement into the channel for points. Right now, all of my stickers are free. So you can come over to Twitch, play with the stickers. You can do your corny dance. Okay, you can do your corny dance. You can add sounds to the stream. And just have fun while we're in this growing phase, because eventually I will have subscribers. I'm speaking it into existence and just taking it a day at a time, because streaming it's work, y'all. Every day I come on here, I create new topics, try to grow us, make this a fun environment, no judgment zone, and I just vibe out and have fun, and yeah, not too much pressure. This week we talked about the anatomy of a dreamer. I broke down all the body parts that exist for a dreamer, someone who is following their goals, someone who is creating something from nothing. We talked about equipment failure along your journey and how you have to keep going and keep your fire burning even when your equipment fails. And we just been growing all week. So next week, I don't know what's in the store, but you have to follow me. Stay tuned to learn about all the greatness that the Hood's Hooded podcast has in store. Because we grow every single day. Okay? Every single day. And if you ever want to know my socials, the command is !socials. If you want to leave a tip, then these are my, and I don't know where my night body is. What else? If you want Hood's Hooded merch, there is a link for that. There we go. Oh, and another one is, boom. So, motivation for the broken dreamer. This is what we have been honing in all week, is motivation for the broken dreamer. Somebody who has given up or feeling stuck, which is a lot of people nowadays dealing with this whack ass economy and this whack ass government and this whack ass president. Like, you know, the unemployment rate is high. Taco Trump is delusional. People are finding out the truth about American history, and it's a crazy time to be alive. There's a shift in power, and we got to stay on the forefront of it, especially as dreamers, because a lot of us are going through things that people can't see. Be kind, because you never know what someone is truly going through. There's a lot of things that I don't say that I'm going through. One day I will, when I make it out of it, but I don't want to say it now because I don't want to have any pity. Like, I don't want pity. I just go through it, show up, and just try my best. And I always say, guys, whatever is meant for you, it's meant for you. If it goes away, then, I mean, hey, all you can do is try. This week I had the most trying week on keeping this consistency going. I had a very stressful fucking week. I had a $10,000 piece of equipment fail for the second year in a row. The warranty expired because it was used, so it wasn't $10K, but it was used price, so you can imagine. And it was just very stressful. But I stayed positive. It worked out. I lost a lot of money, but hey, all you can do is try your best and keep it pushing. So that's what's going on with me, and even other things that people might not see. So if you that dreamer that feels broken and stuck, your dreams feel so far, life feels heavy, just know you are not alone. A lot of us feel like, you know, the dream that we have is not here yet, but you have to be patient with yourself. Give yourself some grace. Cherish every day, and don't take no day that you wake up for granted. Okay? And even though life is heavy, you still survive it. You still get through it, right? Any motion that you make is still momentum. Baby steps still matter. They still count. Just like this broadcast tonight, I introduced a topic that most people probably won't even listen to because they're scared. They have that fear in their amygdala where it's like, oh no, oh hell no, I gotta stay the course and listen to what I've been taught. I can't break that mold. Okay, but you're not weak, you're rebuilding. You're not broken, you're breaking through. So remember, we don't break down at the moment when you're having a breakdown. It is almost the time for you to be in the season of a breakthrough. You are not behind, you are becoming something greater. Okay? So walk anyways. Stream anyways. Show up with your imperfections. I show up to this stream with my imperfections. And when I go back and look at day one versus now, I learned so much. You applying to influencer summer camp. I don't know about influencer summer camp, but that would be great. I need to apply to influencer summer camp, streamer university, all of that, because I love streaming. I love it. And if I could combine that with, thank you, T. Travis ran it up, following, yay, W's in the chat, I got a new Twitch follower. Yay. Yeah, I'm thinking about applying for whatever would help me elevate my content to the next level. That's why I'm doing this consistency challenge, because that was hard for me to show up for my audience. And I read something that said you can't leave your audience hanging. So I said I have to show up every day if I want to be a streamer. And then I watch a lot of people on Twitch who say, hey, no days off. So I'm a part of the no days off gang. And even though I'm growing, it's a slow process, I am dedicated to the mission. Alright? So remember, guys, you were born not to shrink. You were born to shake the system. So when you see me in here talking about things out of the norm, this is because I'm shaking the system. I only have 3K, but I just keep grinding and learning the game. Much love. Thank you. Only 3K? That is a lot. I only have 6, so I'm just trying to get to 10. And I think I'll get there eventually, but it's a journey, and I'm actually enjoying streaming. Every day I try to break my record. Right now, I've only been live for a maximum of 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm trying to work myself up to being on for 3 hours, which you already know as a streamer that it can be tough, but I would love to know more about influencer summer camp, because that is something that I need. I participated in viewing, Stream University, and the participants in Stream University Casanat, they really inspired me. Just seeing that energy, that young energy. Even the older professor, she was like 65. I was like, this is so amazing and creative and just outside of the norm. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Yeah, I have to look that up. Influencer summer camp. I would definitely look that up. Alright. So guys, we are nearing the end of this stream. I do have a quiz and a reflection for us. I don't know who will be able to participate, but I'm gonna pull up the quiz and I can participate myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been doing these quizzes. I started the quizzes this week on my Hood to Hood podcast, so I'm trying to find a way to administer this to make it engaging and fun. I did find a new app. It does have a small fee attached, so I have to use the free version, but I'm going to test this out, and I'll just be my own test person. If you're watching this, you can take a picture of this QR code to join the quiz and actually take the quiz on your phone. Okay, so we're gonna go to our quiz. Let's see how it's looking. Let me fix my TikTok folks up over here. So scan the QR code, guys, and this will get you into the quiz. This is only gonna work for this is only gonna work for 3 participants. So let me scan and test this out. So I'm testing this out for the first night. Let's see how it goes. Alrighty, it says you have successfully joined in. You can show the QR code below to others around you so they can join in too. So when you join in, when you scan the QR code, it'll take you to the quiz that we're about to do now. And this quiz is just on the things that I talked about tonight. So if you've been paying attention on the low, you can join, or if you watch this on the replay, you just have to watch it. You can't take the quiz after it's over. So let's go. Let's dive in. Let's see how it works. So question number 1. is on the screen and we're live. Alright, what is one empowering action you can take to embrace your cultural legacy? And actually, let's go back. I'm gonna wait and see if we can get 2 more people to join. And if not, we still gonna keep going. So scan the QR code. Scan the QR code. Scan the QR code. And I'm just testing this out. I like it so far. Alright, so let's go into our quiz, guys. And even if you can't download, or even if you can't scan the QR code because you're watching it on your phone or something, you can put your answers in the chat. Alright, so what is one empowering action you can take to embrace your cultural legacy? So is it A, adopt a new identity that distances you from your roots, like being African American or black, and not really knowing who you are, or doing your genealogy? I just added all that stuff on, but... Is it B, limit conversations about your culture to avoid discomfort, which is what most people do. They do limit the conversation. They're like, hell no, you ain't finna have me learning something new about who I am. I'm comfortable with who they told me I was. Is it C, embrace stereotypes that have been placed on your identity? This means you're going to embrace the stereotypes that they place on you. Like how the government said melanin people are 3/4 of a human and all of this stuff. Are you going to embrace these stereotypes? Or are you going to accept your greatness and know that your greatness was covered the fuck up? Number 4, are you going to ignore traditions, or is this an empowering action you can take? Ignore traditions and focus only on modern lifestyle? I feel like a lot of people do that. They like ignore the past and the things that have been done to our ancestors and just like, hey, that was in the past, I'm living in it now. But the past is what the government is still using nowadays to have that control over us, because they don't want us to learn the past. Or is it 5, start a cultural blog sharing your heritage story? Which one is an empowering action you can take to embrace your cultural legacy? All right. Uh-oh. I did something wrong. I thought I submitted. Okay, well. So the answer is start a cultural blog sharing your heritage stories. So that's one empowering action you can take. Okay? You don't want to adopt a new identity that distances you from your roots. You don't want to limit conversations about culture to avoid discomfort. Some of these conversations going to get you uncomfortable as hell. Okay? You don't want to embrace stereotypes that have been placed on your identity, and you don't want to ignore traditions focused only on modern lifestyle. This is what you don't want to do. I don't know what just happened to my slide. Why is it looking like that? Let's see. Hold on, guys. Hold on. And I call myself having this all figured out. And now it doesn't want to work. But we will figure it out. Just a little patience. Alright. Whoop whoop. Clifford 2000 fan, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. How you feeling tonight? I did find a new Clifford sticker. I don't know if it's the best, but I did add a Clifford sticker. All right. So the next question, quiz question 1 of 1. One player is ready. Oh, I guess it. Let's start. Quiz question 1 of 1. What is one effect of unlearning pseudo history? What is one effect of unlearning pseudo history? Is it rejecting all historical narratives? Believing every story believing every I can't read. Believing every story told in history books? Feeling disconnected from heritage? Blindly accepting propaganda? Or understanding the true impact of colonization? What is one effect of unlearning pseudo history? I'm going to say understanding the true impact of colonization. Alright, so the answer is understanding the true impact of colonization. So we have more participants, then the answers will appear here. Clifford 2000 fan said, yay, I have a Clifford sticker. Sorry I'm so late. I had some important business to attend. What did I miss? Oh, you missed a lot. But I hope everything went well with your business. Going to the next question. So I'm in the leaderboard. So if we had more participants, then we could have a leaderboard and see who's winning. But I'm playing by myself, so you know. We will have these every day. And we just testing it out. Next question. What is one symptom of pseudo history? Is it bilingual captions, repetition, footnotes, or erasure of indigenous presence? A, bilingual captions. B, repetition. C, footnotes. Or D, erasure of indigenous presence. What is one symptom of pseudo history? Anybody? I'm gonna go ahead and answer because I'm the only one taking the test right now. And this is such a cool app because you can tap the reactions. Like I could put a laughing face reactions. I could put a wow, or thumbs up, or sad face. Clifford 2000 fan said repetition is one symptom of pseudo history. I'm going to vote for erasure of indigenous presence. That's one symptom of pseudo history. So let's see. Yay! All right. So the next one is, which of these is a diamond oral hygiene habit? So you remember we talked about D. Yes. So we talked about different levels of your oral hygiene habit, right? So we have the basic, the standard, the gold, and the diamond. Not the gold, the premium and the diamond. So we have the basic oral hygiene routine. We have a standard, a premium, and a diamond. I made up these levels so you can see where you are with your oral hygiene routine. So, which one of these is a diamond oral hygiene habit? A, brushing only once per day. B, chewing gum. C, using a copper tongue scraper. Or manual brushing. Clifford 2000 fan said A. I'm gonna pick copper tongue scraper. So remember guys, basic is brushing twice per day with a manual toothbrush. Standard is brushing twice per day with flossing and mouthwash. Premium is using a sonic electric toothbrush or spin brush, using a water flosser, a tongue scraper, and alcohol-free mouth rinse. The diamond is using an electric toothbrush with a timer and pressure sensor, copper tongue scraper, oral probiotics, pH balance, rinsing, and also visiting your dentist every 6 months. So let's see. Let's go. 62 points for Dr. Sean. Hey, it's not fair because I made the test, so I'm actually like kind of cheating. But yeah, I'm in the leaderboard. So next time you guys can scan the QR code and participate tomorrow. But it's good for us to see how this works. Next question. What is Niji art? We did a lot of discussion about Niji art tonight. Breaking the generational curses by just understanding even how art can be pseudo history and how a lot of the images and pictures and books represent who we are and they're banned out of our culture. So what is Niji art? Is it random decoration? Yes, copper tongue scraper was A. So is Niji art random decoration, encoded cultural memory, commercial design, or tribal graffiti? What is Niji art? So remember, Niji is the copper tone melanated people in America, the American Indians, the hidden people. So Clifford 2000 fan said Niji art is tribal graffiti. I'm gonna say encoded cultural memory, because remember, the art that we're looking at, it shows us who we truly are as melanated copper tone people. So it's an encoded cultural memory because it brings back that memory of who our ancestors were before colonization and pseudo history. All right, so yeah, a lot of this was in the broadcast tonight, so these are pretty tough questions, guys. So the last question I think is, what's one sign you're relearning your power? What is one sign that you are relearning your power? Is it shrinking to fit in the room? Is it doubting your ideas? Does that help you relearn your power? Is it ignoring culture? Or is it reading those banned books that they told you not to read? Which one is a sign that you are relearning your power? I really like this app. It's called Aha Slides. It's cool. I think we're gonna stick with this one for our quizzes. Yeah, I love it. So one sign that you are relearning your power. Any takers? I know this is a tough one, guys. Any takers? Anybody? Reading banned books. Clifford 2000 fan said it's reading banned books. That's how I take my power back. Hey, take my power back. Hey, cause you can't tell me what to read. You know, you can't tell me what to read. So I'm gonna pick the same one. Reading banned books. Let's see. Yay! I'm leading. Great job, Clifford 2000 fan. The answer is reading banned books. Great job, guys. Great job. So, I am on the leaderboard because I was the only one who played on this QR code platform. So, tomorrow, you can start participating in the live, scan the QR code, and then we can see who is the winner, and then you can get points for the channel. Okay, I'm not sure how we'll use those points. I'm still working it out, growing in this process, but yeah, that was really, really fun. I like that style of the quiz. How do y'all think that style of the quiz works? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Love, love, love it. Alrighty. So that is our broadcast for tonight. Clifford 2000 fan said, cool. Because you are a loyal supporter, I did find some Clifford. I made one sticker. I made a couple other stickers, and I forgot to post mine. I made a little quiz sticker. I was supposed to say, hey, it's quiz time, but I forgot to use that sticker. I also made the Clifford You Can Do It sticker. Boom. He has black eyes, so I made the brush and floss 2 times per day, guys. Right? And we also have the Clifford sound, which I have to figure out why it's not. What are the ones that I make? I think I made this one. So yeah, guys, this stream is heating up. I got another follower tonight on Twitch. Yes, I'm so excited. That is so exciting, man. Y'all don't understand how hard it is to grow on Twitch, man. But I'm just being patient, and every follower, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Trying to get to 10, it's a journey. It's just like my YouTube. I started from 0 and I got up to 114 with a little effort, and I said I need to get to 1K, and I'm almost there, but it's been a journey. So thank you to, if you're following me on Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, all of those, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're supporting and engaging with my live streams to keep me from being bored in here by myself, I appreciate you. Clifford 2000 fan always shows up and supports the stream. Thank you so much. That's why I took the time to create a custom sticker, which was requested because you always support. And if anybody else is a loyal supporter, I will definitely make a custom sticker for you as well. Yeah. And if you guys want to keep this stream growing, make sure you 934 subs on YouTube. Yeah! That's exciting. Yay. That is exciting. So we almost there. So my consistency challenge within this past month and a half has been working. I've been meeting new people. My platforms are growing. I'm staying loyal to my audience. Even if I show up late, I still show up every day. If I'm tired, if I'm feeling down, no matter what's going on, I still show up. And I will continue to show up. So thank you guys for joining the stream. I'm going to list my wish list here. And our merch and our tips before we end the night. If you guys have any questions, now is the time to get your questions in the chat before we end it. And I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, so it will be an all oral hygiene 101 stream. So make sure you turn your notifications on. Let me know what topic you guys want to talk about in the comments. If not, I will just pick something. And it will be good, actually. Right now I'm having a little sticker party. Just waiting on questions. Alrighty. Clifford 2000 fan says, summarize this episode. Definitely. I just got here. I'll watch you on the rewind. What's going on, Swift? Hi, guys. So, yeah, I can give you guys a summary of the episode before I get out of here. So, in the first segment, we did an intro, the mind reset. We talked about it being day 13 and how we are growing and shifting. Then we talked about unlearning pseudo-history. So you were taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America. So we went into a whole little shebang about true art of who was here in America first and relearning who you are. Then I did a Niji art show showing examples of different Niji art, some books, the Indian chiefs that were here on Turtle Island before colonization. After that, we had an oral hygiene introduction where we discussed different levels of your oral hygiene routine. So remember, guys, with the oral hygiene routine, you can see where you rank. So there's the basic level, which is brushing twice per day with a manual toothbrush. Standard, which is brushing twice per day with flossing and basic mouthwash. Then there's the premium, which is using the electric toothbrush, a water flosser, a tongue scraper, and alcohol-free mouth rinse. And then there's the diamond oral hygiene routine. This is where a person uses an electric toothbrush with pressure sensors, copper tongue scraper, oral probiotics, pH balanced mouth rinse, and water flosser, and going to the dentist. We also learned that only 65% of adults brush their teeth once per day. Only 65%. So that number is very low, which is also another purpose of this podcast, is to increase our dental IQ so that we can change these statistics, because that is terrible. That means people brush in the morning, they don't floss, they don't brush at night, and then they have expensive dental issues. Then we talked about the vaping truths about how vaping is very dangerous. Over 50% of college vapors have early signs of gum disease. Vaping is more addictive than nicotine. It causes dry mouth, decay, and gum disease. And also, nicotine restricts blood flow, leading to poor wound healing. Clifford 2000 fan, for any new subs, what is Turtle Island and what is Niji? So Turtle Island is a code name that American Indians used to call America, Canada, and Mexico. Without those lines, those are just all land that's connected together, and we call it Turtle Island. Niji is like a slang word for American Indians. It means my brother, my friend, my copper tone, tribe, friend. It's like a community term. So when I say Niji, it's like, what's up, my homie? In the black community, we say, what's up, my, but this is like, what's up, my Niji? It's a little bit more positive. It ties you to the culture, and it's like a code word for us to know and connect to each other without being derogatory. Like, what's up, my Nigga is Niija. So that's the difference. Then after that, we went into a motivational breakdown for broken dreamers, for people who are feeling stuck, feeling like their dreams are so far away, and people who are feeling like life is heavy right now. I just ended with a positive message to let you know that you're not weak, you're rebuilding, you're not broken, you're breaking through, and you're not behind, you are becoming. Alright? And we also said to never shrink, you are born to shape the system. Okay? And that is the summary of our stream tonight, guys. Any other questions or comments before we get off of here? I'm so excited. I got a Twitch streamer. I got a Twitch follower. Y'all don't understand. Since I got to 4 or 5, it's been like 2 to 3 weeks. Twitch is one of the hardest places to grow. I see my sister photo on your wall. Hey, auntie. Hey, auntie. Like, that's my real auntie, y'all. Yes, this is my mommy. My guardian angel. Yes, she is streaming with me too. So I got my mom here. I have my graduation hooding picture here when I graduated from Meharry in Nashville. That's legendary. This is the hood to hooded moment. The hood to hooded moment. Hood coming from my mom to being hooded, and then to being Dr. Chief the Sunflower. I'm a little sassy outside of the office. I'm a little sassy in this picture, but I like modeling, so yeah. I miss her so much. Me too, auntie. See you later, Swift. I'll catch you tomorrow. Any other questions before I end this stream, guys? I broke my record again today. 2 hours and 39 minutes. Love you, auntie. I hope you're having a wonderful night. You up pretty late. You are so beautiful. Aw, thank you. It runs in the family. Hi, Steely, GD. How you feeling? What's this about? Well, this stream is pretty much ending. I'm just taking any final questions. I love you too. Yes, ma'am. We are ending. Listen to my auntie give you a kissy kissy. Alright, guys. If there are no more questions, this has been another broadcast of the Hood to Hood podcast. I appreciate everyone who showed up tonight to join this live experience. We are definitely growing every time we show up. We grow every single day. I will be back tomorrow and with another message. And again, tomorrow is oral hygiene only day, so I will be just going deep, deep, deep into helping us maintain our oral hygiene. All right, what's your message to the world? My message is to the world is always going to be to never really shrink yourself, because a lot of people end up shrinking themselves with what they go through, and they allow things to break their spirit. So my biggest thing is never getting to the point where you are broken in the spirit. That's the reason why we do discuss the history. We do discuss the disadvantages with coming from the hood, because when you're somebody like me, you are not expected to make it out. You guys sit here, look at me, and I talk like this. People be like, Dr. Sean, you're a preacher, a teacher. No, I'm just somebody who came from poverty, who had a big ass dream, who lost my mom, who didn't have the regular upbringing, and I just had a dream. And my message is for people to never let go of your dream, because it can come true. It might come true in the most unconventional way. You will have obstacles that you're going to face, especially if you come from poverty. But if you stick with it and you don't break before your breakthrough, you will experience miracles on top of miracles on top of miracles. And that's what it's about, going from hood to hood and breaking those generational curses. And for me, I face so many generational curses, even ones that still haunt me to this day. So that's why I say I have to be consistent and show up, not only for myself, but for my tribe, because we need it. So many people have been lost in the sauce. They don't believe in themselves. They don't follow their dreams. They end up settling and sticking with situations that aren't in their best interest. They stop growing. They stop learning. And we have to change the narrative. So I'm here to represent the dreamers, the people who are destined to be great. You might have had a few roadblocks, but it's time for you to be great. Like, what are you waiting on? So that is my message, and I could go on and on about my message, but that is basically the purpose and why I am here and why I do this and why I show up, because I want to change or help people change who don't see a way out. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Steely GD. Thank you. That was a great question. I like that question. Great question. Great question. I'm going to give you a like for that question. Bye. I will see you guys later. So yeah, guys, I'm getting off of here. I gave you a summary. I broke my record. I got a new Twitch follower. We had lots of fun. I will see you guys tomorrow a little bit earlier than midnight. If you want to know the time, just follow me on socials, and I kind of drop the time or alert when I'm going live on my socials. I try my best. But either way, you know I will be here, so you can catch it on the replay. Turn your notifications on. This is Dr. Cheetah's Sunflower, and I'm getting out of here. Good night.